Happy Wednesday, everyone, and happy birthday, Jan. I hope you have a fantastic birthday, and I hope you all enjoy this lovely day and this fun little work set. Before we get to the work set, let's get ourselves through that warm-up. Our warm-up is going to consist of a dynamic triangle for 3 to 5 a side, Sumo Squat for 3 to 5 at a 3-1-3 tempo, so slowing it down a little bit with a little pause. Windmill for 6 to 10 alternating reps, back scale raise to high knee for 3 to 5 a side, and a lateral ski jump for 20 seconds. 2 to 3 rounds, take that down, have some fun with it. We're going to move into a little piece, which is going to involve some dumbbell sumo deadlift high pulls for 3 a side, humeral glide to knee push-up for 3 to 5, and a skip for 30 seconds, or a skip variation that we can play with to start warming up those legs, getting ready for the work set. We'll hit that for a couple rounds, 2 to 3, and then we'll move into this bottom piece where you're going to take it down for whatever amount of rounds or reps you need to get yourself set and warmed up, heart rate going, warm, ready, and we'll have some fun with this. No more than 5, but we'll say 3 to 5 rounds of this bottom piece. Jump squat for 20, rest 10 seconds, skip 30 seconds, rest 10 seconds, and plank to down dog 20 seconds, rest 10 seconds. Repeat that, take it down, get yourself ready to go, heart rate way up there, and then let it calm down just before we tackle this bad boy. This work set is one time through. You're going to take down 30 dumbbell sumo deadlift high pulls for 30 a side. Then you're going to move into 100 double unders, or 100 to 200 singles, or equivalent to that in the bottom piece. I'll have some cardio options for you to choose from. And they're going to finish it all off with 25 nice solid burpees. So one time through, nice little burner. It's not going to take too long, but it's definitely going to make its presence known. Let's get you warmed up. Let's get you ready for action. All right, you guys, let's get our feet underneath those hips. Let's take the arms up big and tall. We're going to reach to one side, big stretch. Come back over, reach to the other side, big stretch. Come back up, we're going to scratch our back, reach through the elbow. Come back up, big reach overhead. Scratch your back, reach through the elbow. Oh, good, come back up. We're going to take it all the way down to the floor. Touch those toes. Walk up the shins. We're going to come down, frame a foot, step it back into that lizard. We're going to inhale up with that inside hand, bend at that 90 degree, reach straight ahead, and actively pull the arm back. Straight ahead, pull back. Straight ahead, pull back, reach up, and rotate to the floor. Come up, plant that hand, step it back into that down dog. Just sort of press and walk those heels out a few times. Just casually waken up those calves. And then from here, we'll come back into our plank. Step that other foot up. Inside hand's going to reach way up. Bend to 90, reach straight ahead. Pull back. Straight ahead. Pull back. Straight ahead. And pull back. Big reach up. Rotate, forearm to the floor. We'll come back up, plant that hand, we'll step back into that nice down dog, reaching those hips, we'll walk those heels a little bit more back and forth, feeling out those feet, come back into our plank, tiptoe those feet all the way up, roll ourselves up, big tall stretch, little reach, little reach, good, come on down with those hands. Get you fired up. All right, if you'd like to do some more gentle kind of warm up, please pause the video, take that down, maybe some cat cows, thread the needle, a little bit more lizard lunge, who knows, all right? But if you need to, take it down, come join me for our first phase of warm up. All right, that first phase of warm up, we're gonna start off very similar to how we started yesterday's work set, because again, this is a nice way to open up the hips and open up that T-spine. So we're gonna get our feet into our sumo stance. We're going to turn a toe to the side, turn another toe on the angle, and have a hand on the thigh. Big reach up to the sky. We're going to pull the hip, getting that nice little hinge to the side going on. Take it as deep as you feel comfortable, and then all the way back up to the top. Always pressing into that arm. That arm is always pressing and reaching towards the ceiling, so it's always pointing up as we go down and as we go up. And remember, the most important part, like we've been talking about the past little bit, is that hinge, all right? That drawing back of the hip into that heel to get and initiate that body. It's going to create a nice sensation through the side, and through the side to create space and length, opposed to just bending over. So we want to make sure we create that space as we pull the hip back. Now, after that, we stay in our sumo squat. So we're going to stand in this sumo squat stance. We're going to push those knees out just a little bit more than we normally would for a squat, and really focus on keeping those knees out and that torso up. So we're going to take our hips to our heels, pressing the knees out to the side as we keep those feet flat, standing slow and tall. We have a 3-1-3 tempo with that, so it's nice and controlled. I'm going to turn profile so you can see my back position. So I draw the hips to the heels, nice and upright, knees are going out, tracking the toes, and then I stand with good control, pushing through those feet so my hips and shoulders rise together. After that one, we stay in the sumo stance one more time. So my feet are going to stay here. I'm going to take one arm up to the sky, focusing on that armpit pointing straight ahead so I feel that lat engagement and that side body really turn on. Then I'm going to pull the hip back like a good morning, rotating at the low rib so I get that nice rotation through the torso, and then you take it as deep as I feel comfortable to go. All right, so as I pull back, I rotate through that upper body, taking it all the way down or to wherever I feel comfortable, but I can still maintain that good rotation, that good shoulder. So as I rotate, this shoulder position stays constant. We want to make sure that it's not rolling in as we rotate. We want to make sure that that shoulder and arm rotates through the torso and not through the shoulder itself. So take your time, really zero in on that position, and only, like I say, go as deep as you can maintain that position. Our next movement is a little bit of balance work, and it's just a tough one, so I want you guys to really kind of pay attention to your balance for today. We're going to pick our favorite foot to start. We're going to point that toe out the back just to kind of get a nice sense of where we're at for balance. Palms and hands can go where they need to be. I'm going to pull the hip back a bit as I hinge, keeping that knee soft, and everything's going to move together. So I'm going to hinge into that back scale. I'm going to come through with control, pulling that knee up into that high knee position. And then come back down, set it up again. Now, if I can't go very far down with the back scale, that's okay. I want you to make sure your hips are square, and I'm only coming down to where I can keep that body nice and straight and level, and then come through and hit that high knee for your control, engaging through the quad and the hip to lift that knee up. Take your time with this. We don't want to turn it into a swing back and forth with momentum. We want to focus on good control on that hinge at the hip crease, and then that nice smooth control as we bring the knee up into that high knee for balance. So a lot of control with the foot, with the hip. Take your time, play with that one. It's a good time. After that, we're going to get a little bit more dynamic, and we're going to work through our lateral ski jump for 20 seconds. So I'm just going to get set up over here. I'm going to pull everything, load, and swing and jump. So I get that nice momentum through the body, and I'm controlling that lateral energy as I land. Now, if you're not a jumper, that's okay. You can still learn the key fundamentals of this with the step. So we're going to swing step, and I'm not picking that other foot up until that other one is off the ground, or back on the ground, sorry. And it doesn't have to be big. It can be whatever size lateral step or hop you would like. So we're just working on controlling that sideways energy with each kind of movement. Okay, so 20 seconds. Take some time just to work on that control, that lateral energy, and see where it takes you. Quick little recap for that. We have a dynamic triangle for 3 to 5 a side. Sumo squat, 3 to 5 at a 3-1-3 tempo. Windmill for 6 to 10 alternating reps, really focusing on that good rotation through the torso and that mid-rib and keeping that shoulder strong. Back scale to high knee, 3 to 5 per side, taking your time with those. And then lateral ski jump for 20 seconds. 2 to 3 rounds, work on waking that body up, working that balance, that skill, and we'll move into that next phase, which is going to involve the dumbbell coming into the equation. All right, next piece of warm-up we have is we got the dumbbell coming. We're going to work that sumo deadlift high pull. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that dumbbell on the floor. I'm going to stand over top of it because that sumo deadlift is our first piece of the puzzle. So we need to make sure that we're using that good posture to get that dumbbell moving. So I'm going to turn to the side so you guys can see the deadlift back first, and then I'll come back to the front to see the high pull. So I come back and down, maintaining that good back position like we practiced in our good morning and our classic deadlifts. I'm gonna push through those legs, open those hips, and let that momentum of that drive move the dumbbell. So we get set, I push, and let that momentum lift the dumbbell, and then my arm guide it to where I want, which is the sternum. So I pull back and down, I push through those legs, and I let that dumbbell flow. Not putting the brakes on, but allowing that momentum to continue to that high and outside position. So from the front, I get set, push through those legs, and I let that dumbbell flow right up to that sternum. One more time, drive up, and then come back down. I'm also not trying to hold it up here for any lot of time. I'm just hitting that position, controlling it back down, and resetting my position. Fun little movement, just from the side without a dumbbell, just so you can see that elbow position, high and outside. We're not coming up to the front, we're coming back and up. So the dumbbell is even with the chest, the elbow is back. Okay? So rock that, have some fun with it, wake up those legs, wake up that upper body a little bit with a little bit more dynamic movement in that vertical lift. After that, we're gonna start waking up the arms with our humeral glide to knee push-up. So I'm gonna lay on my stomach, bringing those hands just outside the shoulders, elbows stacked over top of the hands. I'm gonna get myself set up. I'm gonna pull the shoulders forward, pull them back to where I want them. Ribs and hips pull in, pressing to that knee push-up, keeping my shoulders back and down, my hands under the shoulders, and my ribs and hips pulled in. And then I'm gonna lower down, maintaining that control and keeping that elbow stacked over top of my hands. So shoulders come forward, shoulders come back, ribs and hips, press, and then again, good control on the down. Just because we're done the rep at the top of the push, doesn't mean we're fully done until we're back on the ground. So we need to control that downward energy, that eccentric portion of the movement until we're fully on the ground. So take your time, work with that. If you want to add a tempo in, it's always more fun with a slightly slower tempo. Our next exercise is a skip. So if you don't have space to skip at home, that's okay. You can do one of two things. We can work on our calf raise for 30 seconds to start waking up those feet and ankles and building some strength there. We can work on our ankle pop. So working on that good posture, tight ribs, tight glutes, elbows in tight, working on the posture of skipping. Or a personal favorite of mine is that high knee circular step over, because that's gonna really open up the hips, especially after the thrusters and that strength work we did yesterday. So we wanna make sure that we're working on that full open. But if you're like, nah, I have space to skip, or I have a treadmill, I kinda wanna run the treadmill a bit, awesome. Quick little run on the treadmill, take it down, get yourself kinda heated up. That piece is just more along the lines to get the heart rate up, get things flowing, and get our bodies moving nice and steady. Quick little recap, dumbbell sumo deadlift high pull for 3 aside, humeral glide to knee push-up for 3 to 5, and a skip of 30 seconds or one of those options that I give you that's gonna get you prepped towards that work set. 2 to 3 rounds of that just to kind of work on those finer tunings of the skill necessary for the workout, and then we'll move into this last piece, which is gonna be all about getting that heart rate up and that body ready for action. So stay tuned, come join me on that one. After you warm up that body, come on back, we'll get that thing really ready to go. All right, last little bit of warm up, you guys. So we can take this for 3 to 5 rounds, whatever your body needs to get yourself ready for action. We're gonna start off with a little jump squat action. So we're gonna get into our regular squat stance, and you're gonna take down 20 seconds of jump squats, or one of the other 2 options I give you for the jump squat. But remember, this is not about trying to consume you or finish you off. It's about getting you ready. So don't try and go max reps in these 20 seconds. Use it for movement and priming your muscles. So I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see that profile. My feet are in my regular squat stance. Variation number 1 is just that, a nice air squat. So we're gonna work on pulling the hips to the heels, the knees tracking the toes, and then we stand, nice and tall. From there, we can also add in a slightly faster acceleration, or we can do the non-jumping jump squat. So I get a fast acceleration and then a quick pull-in. So it looks like so. Good squat, drive, pull, and then I move into the next rep. So you'll notice my heels came off the ground, but I didn't actually leave the ground or move my feet. It's just really getting more aggressive with that hip and knee extension and then drawing back under into that good solid squat. Last variation we have is our full jump squat. So open and then close. So I basically the exact same as the second variation, except I actually leave the ground and then I land in the same stance and work on that deceleration of that squat so I can move into the next rep. So one of those three options, whatever your body needs, or a combination of those three. So give yourself that kind of time to warm up and get those joints ready for action. Our next exercise is skipping again. So we're gonna get some more skipping in this work set. So again, whatever variation of that skip you'd like, you can start moving into some dumbbell lateral jump overs as well. If you'd like, instead of that stepping knee, all right, or high stepping knee, you can work on some jumping and get that body just kind of nice and fired up. Last but not least, plank to down dog. And this is really just to slow things down a bit, but in the cardio sense, but get that shoulder and upper body kind of continue to warm up. So I get into my plank, my hands are just outside my shoulders. I pull my ribs and hips into that nice plank position and push my shoulders up. I'm gonna maintain that good shoulder position as I draw back into those knees and ankles. So I get that good position, my armpits are pointing towards my toes, and then I pull back, pulling those ribs and hips into that plank, and then I pull back into that next rep, focusing on those shoulders. So I'm focusing on keeping that nice, strong, stable shoulder throughout the full range of motion. Not letting it dump in, but maintaining that good, strong position that we were talking about earlier in our windmills. So it gives you a little more opportunity to work on that shoulder position going overhead and not worrying about rotation. So we got 20 seconds of that, and then we're gonna take it back to the top, and you'll take that down for 3 to 5 rounds. So as a quick little recap, we have our jump squat for 20 seconds, rest for 10, skip 30 seconds or a skip equivalent, rest for 10, and then plank to down dog, 20 seconds, rest for 10. So good chance to work that, just getting your heart rate up, getting things fired up before we start the workout. Pause the video, get that done, take it down, get yourself ready. We're gonna come at you for the work set. All right, you've got that heart rate up, you're warm, you're ready to go, it's time to rock the work set. What we have for you guys is 30 sumo deadlift high pulls per side. So there's a couple ways you can take this down. You can do 15 on one side, 15 on the other side, back to 15 until you've taken down 30 total per side. You can do all 30 on one side, 30 on the other side. It's up to you. Take it down. That's going to give you the best chance to work good, clean movement and challenge that body. If you're looking for points of performance on the sumo deadlift high pull, again, check back into our earlier stages of our warm-up, scroll back, get those points of performance, come back at it, and rock it. But again, the breakdown of the reps, kind of up to you, but half, or all on one, all on the other. After that, we have a double under set for 100 reps or singles, or a double under equivalent, which you'll have at the bottom of the work set. So check that out. They're all gonna be things you've done before, especially some of the things that we talked about in our earlier stages, and options for our skip in our warm-up. Last but not least, the beautiful burpee. All right, day 2 this week, we get burpees. So we're gonna do a little burpee breakdown here for you guys. 2 variations, the burpee and the squat thrust. First one, full burpee. Hands come down. I jump my feet back, lower down, press and pop. Finish with that good clap. Or I can do a variation and involves a step, lower, and a step, and hop. Or any combination. Jump back, step in, step back, jump in. Key points there, really focus on those humeral glide to knee push-up points of performance. That tight rib, that good stacked elbow, and keeping those elbows at that kind of 45-degree position at the armpit. That stabilizes the shoulder really well, keeps things and recruits as much musculature as we can to help support that shoulder. The next phase is our squat thrust. So if you're interested, if you're like, the push, I'm gonna take it easy on the push today. I did all the burpees on Monday, I'm gonna do squat thrust today. That's fine. So we have some different options of the squat thrust. I bring my hands to the floor, I jump back into my plank, I jump back in, clap overhead, or I bring my hands down, I step into my plank, step in, big clap, or any combination of those two. So I can do a step back, jump in, jump back, step in. So any combination of those are totally legit. The main focus here in the squat thrust, keeping that hand under the shoulder the entire time, pressing through the floor, and keeping that core tight in that good solid plank so we don't get any sway back midway through that rep. So really focus on what's going to allow you to kind of show that good position, that plank, the best. I hope you guys have fun with this one, you guys. Quick little recap on that work set. One time through, 30 sumo deadlift high pulls per side, double under for 100 or the double under equivalent, burpee for 25 or squat thrust, done. It's a nice fast burner. It's going to be a good time. I hope you enjoy. Happy birthday, Jan. I hope you have a fantastic day. Enjoy this work set. It's a fun one. It's tough, but it's a lot of fun. All right? Till next time, you guys, work for quality. Have a ton of fun. We'll see you very, very soon. Bye.